boom, boom, boom. Do 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 do. Oh, right, right. All right, we'll see if we can. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and share it to a couple of groups. Uh, Going down the line. Oh, I didn't mean to shut up. Yeah, I'm sharing with the wrong people. Yeah, be all right. All right, guys, y'all come on in. Look like I got a couple eyes in here. We're gonna talk in a little bit. Hey, listen, y'all type in the chat and let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. I got a special guest coming on today. We're gonna kind of piggyback off a discussion we talked about this past Sunday. So y'all come on, tune on in. Tune on in, tune on in. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Y'all playing around today. I know what y'all want. Y'all want to shout and and trip. Well, we're gonna get y'all. And you know what? I do realize, Mark, what's going? Hey, listen, bro. I need you to tune in on this because I know for a fact, personally, you are handling this situation like a king. Yeah, there ain't too many fathers that I know that went the route you went. Maybe you can chime in a little bit later, man. But right now, matter of fact, let me cut this music here off. I got to get this. Listen, guys, welcome to the Todd Mickens Let's Talk About podcast. Where listen, we having a good time. I appreciate you all coming. Whoever is on here, I thank y'all for being on here. We're gonna jump on a topic today, talking about. Let me find it. We're talking about being. Where is that? Boom, being a single parent. Of course, I am not a single parent, so I had to get an expert, had to get somebody with some expertisemanship, expertisemanship that's that has been doing it, has done it well, a good job, and is still doing a good job. And she listened to my podcast Sunday, and she told me that it was real good and she wanted to come from a different perspective. Well, I don't want to say come from a different perspective, but just add another element to what we was talking about. And y'all, my guy Marcus Wilson, he's the one who me and my wife, when we purchased our house, he was our realtor. Not only was he our realtor, but he and I was friends for probably right at about 2 to 3 years when I had just got into dogs, and he taught me a lot of stuff. One of the main things that he taught me that he don't even know is that when he shifted from having the pet store and the dogs and went into real estate, he just taught me that, hey, you listen, just like the song by King George, "One Monkey Don't Stop No Show." Listen, one job or one stream of income, listen, can't stop the show. But listen, nevertheless, we're gonna get on to my matter of fact, his daughter was the one who closed the deal on our house. It wasn't Marcus, it was his daughter. I remember, and let me tell you about a single father, okay, who was doing real estate, going around showing houses, and had his daughter with him. I think she was still in a carriage, in a car seat, and we met at the doggone Krispy Kreme. We handled paperwork and blah, blah, blah. She was there. She was the reason why me and my wife got the house. Marcus, it was not because of you. Let me see who all we got going on here. We got Marquita Bolden. What's going on, Keita? What's going on, cousin? Nikki Davis. What's going on, Nikki? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, appreciate you. Well, right now we're gonna bring on the guest. This is a special guest simply because this is my cousin. This is my first cousin. This is my mama's brother, daughter. This is my mama's niece. This is my first, one of my oldest cousins. We didn't get to do most of the I would say fellowship because we had a little age difference. She about 60 years older than me. I'm just letting y'all know. Richard Johnson, what's going on? She about 60 years older than me, y'all. Marquita said, hey, cousin. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on. Y'all put your hands together for my cousin, Stacy White. What's going on, cuz?
Hello. I am not 60.
Listen. First of all, let's just get a little background. Let's get a little background because I'm gonna act like I don't know you, but I know you. All right. So
okay.
Just give me some background. Where are you from? What school did you go to? Sports you played in the day. Just give me a quick rundown of Stacy.
Okay. I am Stacy, as Todd stated. My father and his mother are siblings. So by my mom, I am the second oldest of three. By my dad, I am still the second oldest of 10. I didn't play any sports in school, but I participated. And that was an impact in raising or being a single mother of two African.
Hold it, wait, Greg, they cuz going into it already. Wait a minute, I didn't want to hit the word.
I grew up in the community of Hopkins, South Carolina.
Yeah.
I attended public school and graduated from the Lower Richland High School.
Hail to our mother. All right, yeah. So if you don't mind, I'm pretty sure you don't mind. If so, how young are you now?
I am 52 years old.
I said you were 60 years older than me. I mean, not 7 years. 7 years. That's why I was saying earlier. I was more along the far as remember how the cousins used to get together and spend the night and this and that. I was along with the Junebug. I know he ain't gonna be called that, you know, and we did. So y'all was kind of a little bit older. And I ain't gonna lie, I used to look up to y'all because I'm gonna tell you, I just think I got some beautiful cousins.
Thank you.
I just always thought that my cousins was out. I was like, man, I got some pretty cousins, man. So I always looked up to y'all. Y'all listen, we didn't, like I said, because of the age difference. I don't think, not that we wasn't close, but I mean, when you was driving, I wasn't even thinking about driving.
Right.
But I do remember when you let me and Muhammad hold, what was that, a white Escort? A white Ford Escort you had?
I did have an Escort, right, because I taught Muhammad how to change gears. So yes.
That's right. It was like, listen, we didn't do nothing in your car. We did everything by the book. We went where we said we was going. I promise you.
Right.
To this day, I promise you. Dina, what's going on? How you doing, Dina? Listen. Single parenting. Now, I brought up the discussion. I texted my wife last week. I said, baby, what do you think about this this topic? My topic was, and then we're going to go straight into being a single parent, right? My topic was, you cannot be a man. You are, what was my topic?
A
A woman
woman.
cannot be a man even if she's a single parent. I'm just paraphrasing. She is only being a parent that's pulling double duty. Where I get that from, there was a little article or a little conversation where a lady was, because you hear it all the time, and where a lot of people say, well, I was the mama and the daddy. And bottom line is that is impossible to be the mother and the father. What single mothers are, and this is my opinion. If you don't agree, or anybody in the chat don't agree, please feel free to. You are being a mother who took on responsibility, extra responsibility when someone else did not. Same would be with a father who does the same. Okay, Marcus Wilson. That's why I say he would be good for the topic also. He took on responsibility of his daughter almost from birth, but I have never heard him reference to himself being I was the mother and the father to my daughter. He was the father, and I know he had strong females in his daughter's life, as well as a female should have strong males in their life. Another thing that I was harping on, and then we're gonna jump straight into it, is I believe, Geraldine Pugh, how you doing? That when mothers or people tell their daughters or their sons, your daddy wasn't there, blah blah blah, and it's true now. Some daddies trifling. We ain't act like, but I'm using when the child hears all the time, daddy wasn't there, mama did it, mama did this, mama did that. I think it puts a subliminal message in a lot of the children's head that, especially females, I don't need a man because my mama did it by herself. So they have a guard up. This is just one element of what I'm looking at. Tanika Sean Matthews, what's going on? She said, hey, cousins, what's going on? So these are just some of a lot of the topics that I was bringing up where I told my wife, I said, it's going to be a touchy subject. I don't want people to take it wrong as if I'm saying a woman did not do, women who raise kids by themselves do not do a dynamic, awesome job, because they do. But the job that they don't do is the job of a man. They are simply doing the job of a single parent that's doing double awesome duty. It is impossible for a woman to do the job of a man. It's impossible for the man to do the job of a woman. You're doing a single parent job. You may have to show them some things that a man should show them, or vice versa. But we got to stop telling our well, we don't have to stop. I think it's wise if we was to stop saying I was the mother and the father, or either vice versa. Because you never hear too many men say, I was your daddy and your mama when your mama wasn't around. So now I got all that out the way. Calvin, y'all, what's going on? We want to talk about, cuz hit me up. Stacy hit me up. Stacy said, listen, you don't know what you're talking about. That was Stacy told me, y'all. I ain't telling no lie. Stacy said, you don't know what you're talking about, and we're going to get on this podcast. I'm going to straighten you out. Y'all, that is not what she said. She did not say that. She said, cuz I want to come from a different angle and talk about being a single parent. So just from the top, you start the conversation how you want to bring it to the forefront.
Okay, thank you. My children, my sons are now 31 and 28. The 31-year-old is a musician. He did not go to college like I asked him to. He did not go into the military like I asked him to. Then the 28-year-old is the JV head coach at a high school. He went to college like I asked him to, and he graduated. And I agree with you. Even I became a single parent when they were 8 and 5. Mm-hmm. And no, I raised them, but no, I could not, and I did not teach them how to become men. Right. What I did for them, what I thought was a benefit for them, their dad did have visitation on the weekends, and he even had visitation when it wasn't even his weekends. But outside of that, I kept them involved in the community, and it was important. I'm not prejudiced, but it was important to me that my kids or my sons were involved in the Black community. They started out at Hyde Park, Meadow Lake, and for me, they had to have Black male coaches, because to me that was showing them that, hey, there are some positive Black men out here, and this is what you can do as a Black man. So it takes a village to raise a child. So when you find that village, you're blessed to find that village, and I had that village. Their friends in school, the men throughout the community, when they, I'm going to say chastise. When they chastised them, I stayed out of it.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute. You done stepped on a nail, and I know your toe hurt now. Because I'm going to tell you something. I truly believe, because if that concept was still able to happen, like you say, where somebody could chastise, I don't mean beat your children up and mistreat them, but like you said, when they did something wrong and they help. Nowadays, nobody wants nobody to say anything to their children. So it's almost hard for the village to help raise the children, because now when you chastise or say something to the children, the parents almost want to knock you out.
True.
How did you deal with that? What was the concept of that when you just say, hey, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna let them chastise? How did that come about?
That goes back to, even though I'm saying it as a woman, they needed to hear it from a man. Mm-hmm. So if it was, I really didn't have behavior issues, because our grandma name was Lily Bell Austin Bolton. And that sister did not play.
That's right.
A lot of my disciplinary came from her. Yes. Watching her raise her children, her sister's children, her children's children. Getting off the topic a little bit, I remember, I don't know if you remember, remember Uncle Leon was her son. And remember, she locked Uncle Leon up. And when you were asked, Grandma, where's Uncle Leon? She would tell you he in jail.
Right.
And you would ask why, and she would say, because I need help. Yeah. But so I needed them to hear it from a man. So if there was any disciplinary, or if they did something in school, not only did I tell their father, but I told their coach. When report cards, interims came out during the time, I think Pop Warner may have just gotten started here when they started playing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they do it now, but back then, the coaches wanted their report cards. They wanted,
yeah.
So that was, and I gave it to him or them. And when whoever my child played for, I need your help.
Right.
I need your help. So whatever you do, I'm in agreement with it. When I come to you, I need your help.
Right there. Hold right there. This is important what you're saying. Shahid, what's going on? I think what's missing nowadays, and correct me if I'm wrong, or either add or take away, it is so much female independency. The culture now teaches get the bag, be independent. It's so very important. You said somewhere, listen, I need your help. Sunday at church, I spoke at church this Sunday. I think if anybody from New Life Beulah Baptist Church listening, thank y'all for allowing me to speak Sunday. That was part of my sermon. I told everybody, look at somebody and tell them, I need you. I can't do it. Matter of fact, not even women. I think our people have got to the point where long as we good, we straight, We ain't trying to help nobody no more. Everything used to be community, help, help, help. But now, especially with the women now, I got to say this, and if I'm wrong, or if you haven't experienced, women seem to want to be more dependent, and I can do it by myself. You know, people always make a joke and say, well, I got my car and my Honda and I'm good. You know, I ain't picking at the ladies, but it has come to the point where, and maybe by right, because they have been failed by men for so long that women refuse to ask for help, or is it that they don't want to ask for help because maybe men want to tie something to them helping? Like, you know, it just can't be a genuine help. Most men want something with the help, if you know what I'm talking about.
It could be a variety of things. I had a friend who explained to me sometimes when a man is done, when the relationship ends with the woman, it ends with the child too.
Okay, wait a minute. Back it on up. Back it on up. Say that again. Say that again.
Someone, a man explained to me, this is when my children were younger. The statement he made was sometimes when a man and a woman, when their relationship is they've parted ways, that sometimes a father will part ways with the woman and the child or children, even if they are his.
Wow. And you know what? Yeah. You know, just hearing that makes me feel bad. Just hearing that makes me, because it's a lot of that goes on, where if the relationship doesn't work, regardless of whose fault it is, once the relationship is broken between the man and the woman, you're right. A lot of times it's broken with the entire, whoever get the kids. A lot of times it's not the same type of effort or love for the kid. Definitely not for the person, but the man and or woman leaves the woman and kids and don't look back. And you see a lot of times where they go on and start their own little thing, their own family, and again, the hurt, the betrayal. Question, because I haven't heard you say this, but what was the importance of you not, and I don't know if you did or you didn't. If you did and you had to correct it later, let me know. What was the importance of you not, even though you and your kid's father separated, what was the importance of, because I always talk about truth, just say, hey, we didn't make it or whatever, blah, 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 but what was the importance of not bad mouthing the father?
As long as the money came in, I was good. You know, I can't call SCNG, or back then I couldn't call Bell South.
Right.
I couldn't go to the grocery store.
Right.
Couldn't, during my era, I couldn't get food stamps. I couldn't. Section 8 was forever. They were on Medicaid at some point, but that because of the income bracket, I made too much for that. So as long as the money was coming in to
Right.
help me provide for them, it wasn't so much of paying the bills, because we did things. I did things with them. They played every sport: soccer, swimming, tennis, basketball, football, you name it, and they were not allowed to quit band. Right. When I brought that snare for the oldest one's rare, see, when I did things, I could quit. So when I had my kids, that was not acceptable. I'm gonna buy this drum, and the 7th graders, when they start band, and whether you march on Keenan marching band or not, you will take band to the 12th grade. The only sport I ever let them quit was, I think, baseball, because Uncle Pa convinced me to let them play for him at Hyatt Park. This is when I had moved back to the country. Let them play for him at Hyatt Park, and he would help me transport them. and he stopped helping me transport them. But it was so boring. So I was like, look, I know I don't allow y'all to quit anything, but I can't take, because both of them was on 2 different teams.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, there was no quit because I quit. My mom let me quit. So vet. She ran track, excellent at it. She quit.
Yeah, right.
You know, so in this household, we didn't quit. We finished it out to the end.
Right.
So the money. As long as the
money coming, you. Let me read some of the comments, and you can respond to this right here. Marcus Wilson, he's a single father. I don't know if you see the picture. He's there with his daughter. He said, "There's no manual," and I guess he talking about raising kids or everything. So there's no manual, but when you love them and prioritize the kids' best interest, it makes it easy to do good by them. Kids' needs first. What do you say about that?
I totally agree. Communication. I think Vet and I were talking about this last night. We were so sheltered that we did as we were told, and we didn't ask why. So I didn't grasp the communication part of it until we started going to my dad's, Uncle James. That's when I understood communication. That's why I can tell my kids I love you, because my daddy said it to me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it got to a point, like Marcus said, it wasn't about me. It was about my kids, because at some point they're going to be grown and gone. And what did I feed into them? You know, what did I? You can't live here. I wanted to move out. We could never move out. I don't know if my grandma sheltered my mom and my mama tried to shelter us, not to anything bad, but you know, that was just the way that they love. But when you know, my kids you gotta go. You know, communication, love, support. My PTO on my job was parent-teacher conference, chaperoning at trips. Now there's emails, you know, staying involved, being involved, knowing my kids, knowing, hey, if I cut class, my mama, they call the school, my mama coming.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So just like Marcus said, letting them know that they're important to us.
Okay. All right. Here we go with Richard Johnson said, again, we're referring to the women now, said their logo is now, I don't need a man. Now, cuz let's listen. Tell me if you heard it. Tell me if you said it. Tell me if you got friends or a family member who you hear saying it. What do you feel about Richard saying that most women's logo or motto logo or saying now is I don't need a man? Cuz you're on the hot seat now. I need
why don't we need a man? I'm going there, and I'm not saying that we don't. Most women on the lawnmower, they cut grass. You know, I've had everything turned off but the lights, and when I got in binds, I had to figure it out. You know, as a man, how often these days, as women help me out, how often these days a man will just see that you have a need and help you without you asking?
Okay. I see how you turn that. You flip that on me. I like that. Because I thought you were going this way, and you okay. I get. Well, you know what? I saw a post. A young lady. She was go to the church I go to, and she was sick in the hospital or whatever. Me personally, I don't really know her like that. I say young lady, but she's older. She's probably about maybe 15 or 20 years older than I am. I went to school with her son. Well, no, she got to be at least. I went to school with her son, so she got to be at least 20 years older than me. And I didn't know she was in a certain situation far as sick. And she kind of put a post out there that, you know, she was like, what happened to the days where people knew you were in need and they just helped you out? I guess you saying like, you know, her grass had been overgrown. She couldn't do it. And she was saying, what happened to the real men? My daddy used to, you know, and I was like, wow. Like you just said, when was the last time as a man or a human being just said, I know somebody need help, and I'm just gonna help them. It's rare. It's rare.
Okay, good example. My neighbor around the corner had posted on Facebook. This might have been a couple years ago, before my lawnmower broke. She posted on Facebook, "Hey, I need my grass cut. Can anybody help me? Does anybody have a lawnmower?" Right? Everybody has a lawn service.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to her, "Hey, I have a lawnmower. You can use it, but your son has to come around here and get it and push it around to your house."
Mm-hmm.
How many people in the community have lawn services and will see her grass need cut? Even if it, hey, knock on my door, "Hey, I saw your grass need cut. I'm gonna cut your grass this time, but going forward, maybe get in a contract with me."
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
You know
so
what?
I don't need a man.
It's ironic we talking about this grass thing because it's something that's laid in my heart for some years. I think I told my wife about it. I don't think I went into details, but I was trying to figure out a way, and maybe there is something like this where, as far as with senior citizens or the ones that we know can't just get out there and y'all, if there was some type of way, I don't know if it can be funded or either I just do it out of my own pocket or either get some volunteers to say, "Hey, I know some elderly people yards that need to be cleaned up.
Yes.
We don't need no money for it. They are our kings and queens who have paved the way. They need some. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what happens a lot of times now. The first thing that we want to say is, "Well, I know they got churn. Why they churn or help?" Listen, a lot of times when you help somebody, you can't help somebody thinking why somebody else didn't help.
Right.
So that's been laid on my heart for a while. I think I'm gonna put that in the first gear. I'm glad that we talking about this. Listen, because you own something. You own so just to be clear, you saying women do or do not need a man?
He said our logo. So I'm telling him why our logo is we
That's
don't need a man.
You saying that's why?
That's part of why.
Okay.
So
So
that's
tell me
one of the reasons.
one of the reasons why they don't need.
Right, why we don't need a man.
Okay, so tell me, let's equal it out then. Tell me one reason why we need a man. Not we. Wait a minute. I'm talking to
you. Y'all need a man.
Yeah. Why do women need a man? Because now, if we want to go to scriptural, I ain't gonna go all the way, but we can say even the good book talking about we need a helpmate, we need a companion.
Yeah.
We need somebody. Listen, when we leave home, we were supposed to leave and cleave. That's what the scriptures say now.
Yeah.
So we got one reason why women say that now, but give me the other side of why women need a man, or because it's vice versa too. Why a man needs a woman. I know we mainly, since you're a female, I don't want it to seem like I'm just targeting women because it goes both ways. Why? Okay. Why do we need a companion? Why do the other sex need the other sex? Why we need somebody?
But one, companionship. God created man for woman, woman for man. So the companionship, the trust, because you share with your significant other that you don't share with your homegirls. Mm-hmm. Like I have my homegirls, we get together every so often and we go out and eat. We sit down and we talk, but there are certain things that I don't share with them that I would share with my significant other. And who wants to be around a bunch of women all the time? Who wants to, like Juanita Bynum said in her No More Sheets, she said, I get tired of going home, sitting across the table, looking at my God sisters all the time.
Right.
So the companionship.
Right.
The companionship, the conversation, the trust, the travel.
And this is important just because that doesn't mean everybody is going to has to get married to have a companion. Now we should, far as according to the Bible, get married and have kids. That way you're not, But I think people feel like nowadays when we talk about having a helpmate or a companion, because some people just not gonna ever get married. Some people they're gonna live in different homes, but they're gonna be I don't know what they call it now. They still boyfriend and girlfriends or courting. I think it's okay to still be courting or either girlfriends or boy. Listen, everybody not gonna get married. How you feel about whether marriage is pressed on people, and that's why maybe they get married just because I done got older now, and they say women my age and men my age ought to be married by now. So I'm gonna find me somebody who I halfway like, or either like or love, and we gonna get married. What do you feel about that?
In my opinion, because I've been single, married, and now I'm single again. Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, for someone that has never been married, maybe that's something they want to do. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. And maybe like with me, where I have been single, married, and now divorced, now at the age that I'm at, because I'm on a 10-year plan to retirement.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my plan. 10 years. I'm on a 10-year plan to retirement. I'm okay. Within that 10 years, my home will be paid for, retired, investing money. And it's not that I don't want to share those things, but I guess I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable and content where I'm at.
And that's not saying I don't need a man. That's just saying in my situation, that's really not in my, that's not
remarrying.
Right.
Remarrying. Yes.
Right. So it is important, as we agree, for companionship to seek affection, love, attention from someone else. Communication, somebody you can talk to, somebody who you can tell things that you don't tell nobody else.
Right.
And so that's where I think it's very important that we understand that we need, because I even told I think last week, Sunday, I talked about it. Even when Jesus came, died, rose again, he said, listen, I'm leaving, but I'm sending a comforter back to you. He knew we needed help. So he sent the Holy Spirit for us, right? And this ain't biblical or not, well, it is kind of biblical, but that's what I think everybody got to understand or needs to understand. Now, you can do it by yourself. You can be independent, you can be strong, but Lord knows you're going to need somebody, some help from somewhere.
Yes.
Now, you said you think one of the reasons why women have the logo or the saying about because I guess men back in the olden days, let's just say men help without, we saw a need, they saw a need, and they did it. So now the women like, okay, is it that we don't have men like that anymore? Or do you think maybe women are so strong-willed now that a man has to be careful to ask a woman, can he help? If you know where I'm going.
My personal opinion, and this is all my personal opinion. Let's take, for example, if I'm at the gas station and I'm pumping gas, do you think a man will walk up to me and say, excuse me, you can go in the gas station and pay for your gas and I'll pump it for you? We're not asking them to pay for our gas.
Right.
We're not asking you to pay for our gas. If you want to take us out on a date, why do you have to come to where we live first?
Okay. Well, let me. Okay. being a man who been married for 20-something years now, but I got to go back to my before marriage days, right? I know what you're saying. Why a man want to come to the house before? Because at first thought, men, we're gonna be honest on here. First thought, a man's first thought is I don't care what they say. A man's first thought, his attraction to a woman, and to get to the house, 9 times out of 10, a man thinking first base, second base, third base, score. That's just the honest truth, and that shouldn't be. But the nature of a man, most men think that first. The courting, nowadays I've noticed the courting kind of comes after the interaction, if you know what I mean. It's like all of the romantic stuff from these people that's coming up now it's just like get straight to it. If I like it, then we'll court. Now I could be wrong. Last time I seen somebody do something about some gas and send you in the store, I've seen I don't need my gas. I can pump my own gas. Where that come from? Where that come from? Had they been disappointed so much that, or they feel that the man isn't genuine in saying he want to pump the gas? Or is that a guard that's being put up from fear of letting somebody in? Just talk to me. Tell me what you think.
It could be both. It could be one, is he sincere? Or is he coming with a motive? You know, okay, he pumped my gas, but I'm gonna have to give him my number. What does Richard say?
Right here, well, Richard say, I went through that because my ex didn't want our child around. Oh, I get it. I guess when there was a separation, and say his kids got with him, his kid's mother didn't want him to have the kids around another woman. So how you feel about that? When your kids had to go with their father, I see you smiling. Tell the truth. Did you feel? Did you feel? Wait a minute. Did you feel some type of way when you knew that once he picked those kids up, those kids was gonna be around him and another woman? How did you feel? And be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. That wasn't an issue with us.
Okay.
That was not an issue with us. You have to understand, your Uncle Jakes came with many women.
Many?
Yes. And one thing we grew up with was I could go to Lois' house. I could go to Gloria house. I could go to Francine house. Outside of my dad, the mothers communicated so we can get together.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Ned doesn't mind me sharing this, but when it was time for everybody to go home, it took about a week for Gloria to surface, and she would go to Lois' house.
Okay.
So maybe, I don't know what Uncle Jenks, how he kept the peace. I don't know how he kept the peace. I don't know what he did for the peace, but maybe he played a part in that. So to Richard, I don't know your situation, maybe because my little cousin went through this where she divorced her husband. I think he might have got remarried. She wanted to talk to the new wife and he refused. Wow. So she felt uncomfortable with her kids. They would go because it was court order visitation, but she felt uncomfortable because the ex-husband wouldn't let her talk to the new wife. And once that was established, she was fine. It was just, hey, these are some things that I want you to know about kids. This is my number should you need to call me. Could I get your number? And that kind of nipped that in the bud. So I'm not sure if that's the situation with Richard. Are they communicate? Is there some type of communication? Are you the middle person between them?
Well, it is. I tell you what, Richard, if you in the chat, man, just kind of clarify, because what I think he's saying is when we was talking about when you said once the man leaves, he leaves the children, he leaves the child too. So maybe he's saying, no, I didn't really leave my kid's mother didn't want me to be around the kids unless it was under her terms of you ain't gonna have no woman around my kids. And I've heard of seen that. I've seen some petty situations. So maybe that's where he was coming from. Let me I like this right here. Marcus says kids will see what's happening. They are living it and will learn from it too. Do you think your kids fully understand and learn from what happened in the past with you and their father?
I personally do, and it's funny because when things are going on with them, they don't tell me, they tell him. And really? I don't know if they don't tell me because I'm the disciplinary. So a lot of times when I feel things going on, I call him baby daddy. So when I feel things going on, I'll be like, hey, baby daddy, see what's going on. And then he'll tell me what's going on. But they will go to him before they come to me on certain situations. And I have to find out what's going on.
Okay. All right. I see Helen, what's going on, Helen? I see you saying hey there. Appreciate you as always. Mike C. Adams. You know Mike, don't you? I know you know Mike.
I know Mike. Hey, Mike.
Everybody know Mike. Mike said affection in front of the kids groomed them for a great relationship and also being open to listen and opening to conversation. Now, that is very true. Now, I don't know about nobody else. My daughter and my sister-in-law have the same mannerism or act the same way when it comes to my wife has a younger sister that's about, I think, 15 years younger. So her father and his new wife had a child, right? Mm-hmm. The child did not and would not allow affection between the mother and the father. My sister-in-law, if they was to sit beside each other, and my daughter used to do we call her and my daughter twins. They got the same mannerisms. They would. I'm talking about holding hands. My daughter used to say this right here. Moo. She ain't want my wife nowhere near me. It's just funny that Mike is saying this, but it is important that they see the affection so that when they get into their relationships, they understand that it takes affection and communication for successful relationships. Now, Mike, I don't know if that's exactly where you was going with that, but what do you say about Mike's statement? Affection in front of the kids groomed them for a great relationship and also being open to listen and opening to conversations. What do you say about that?
I agree. I agree because we are example setters for our children, and what they learn, they get it from home.
Okay. All right.
I totally agree. I agree. I remember in communication, one thing I allowed my kids, because I couldn't do it. My mama used to tear our butts up. But I allowed my kids to, like you said, on Sunday, I allowed my children, my kids to come to me and talk to me, and we communicate. And I remember Zarel, the oldest one, was lying to my face. And I said, Zarel, you're lying. He said, no, I'm not lying. I'm not telling the truth. Zarel, you're lying. No, I ain't lying. I said, son, you're lying because I told the same lie.
Right.
I told that same lie. So,
right.
Yeah, and then discipline with them. The first time you did it, apparently you didn't understand it was wrong. So I don't know about you, but we just got to beat for it. And then,
right.
What do I do? You know what you did. No, I don't know what I did. Sometimes I didn't know what I did. So first time you do something wrong, we're gonna talk about it. And so apparently you didn't understand that what you did was wrong. So we're gonna talk about it. Now, after the first time, the times after that, then there's consequences.
Yeah.
One thing I try not to do is I try not to send them off with a bad day, because if they have a bad day, I'm gonna have a bad day.
Yeah.
I try not.
Yeah, that's important. Let me see. Richard, I guess Richard was talking about here and say GoFundMe to help the elderly and the needy. Yeah, that's kind of that would be nice, but I do know this. If there's any type of money involved, people get kind of, anytime you ask help and money and the same thing, people just get kind of, everybody think that you trying to take money or do whatever it is. So that's why I was saying, if I had people, or I can get it together where even if it's just a couple people who got lawn equipment, and my thing is just to be able to go and help somebody who need help, not looking for nothing. Listen, I got my own gas, I got my own equipment, ma'am, sir. We gonna come here. Now you ain't getting no level A landscaping services done. You ain't gonna come outside. Yeah. Tell me, well, could you go ahead and edge a little bit? We gonna try to help you at least once a month or once every 3 months, just to try to lighten that load. Now, it would be a good idea if we could do like a GoFundMe, but when it comes to money and helping, people just, a lot of questions start getting asked to somebody. I would just rather be able to see if a couple of guys in the community just would say, well, hey, yeah, I know such and such need their yard done. I'm gonna go over there such and such date. If y'all want to come help, come over. So that's what I want to try to do that. And it don't have to be, it can be ladies, men, or whoever, somebody who just need, because even in my neighborhood, I live in a pretty decent neighborhood, but I tell my wife all the time, I say, man, these people, I be wanting to go around the neighborhood and cut some people's grass. We may say, oh, they ain't cutting their grass, but they might not have the equipment.
Exactly.
Right.
Because my lawnmower was broke. I didn't have a lawnmower for almost a year, so.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Richard in the house again. Women look at time as being invested in a person, so they're looking for a return for their time spent. Okay, Richard, you got to tell me what Richard talking about here.
Women look at time as being invested in a person, so they're looking for a return. We're looking for commitment. We're looking for honesty. Yeah.
Well, okay. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. she said that with a snap, Richard. Listen, now I'm saying this a lot on social media. A guy, they call them gold diggers now. They're making a lot of videos. The first thing that a lot of the females I'm seeing now is the first thing they're saying, if we're gonna date, if we're gonna do anything, I need you to pay my rent. I need you to do such and such and such. So what do you think that turn? Because I don't think it used to be that. I think guys used to volunteer to maybe help if they was in a relationship, but now, and I don't know if you've seen it, but if you look at a lot of stuff on social media, most women now, first thing is the bag. What can I get out? I don't even know what a Burke bag is. I don't know nothing about that, but they want these ballers, send me here, pay this bill here. Where do you think that concept came from? What's changed from, let's just use you as a matter of fact. What's changed from when a guy came to you and said, hey, I want to get your number. Maybe we can go on a dinner, and you saying, well, okay, well, yeah, let's talk on the phone first, to now where guys say, hey, well, can I get your number? Can we talk? To say from a woman going straight to, okay, what can you do for me? Like right now, it ain't even the waiting. It's like, okay, well, can you pay my bills? Can you buy me a bag? What you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you, but I'm so out of touch with it. I wasn't even aware of the gold dig. You said it's some kind of page or something.
Well, no, it's just a lot of, they've been calling women gold diggers who may be out for it just for the money. But this particular couple of these videos is where a guy just may approach a woman and he may not look spectacular. He just may have on regular clothes. He trying to speak, hey, how you doing? Blase, blase. She don't want to talk. But as soon as she see him go to his car, which is a foreign car, now all of a sudden she's interested. So they call him a gold digger. But not even that, is most of the conversations from a lot of women is, what can you do for me now?
So would you say is that a materialistic woman?
Yeah. Where
I don't know, because I haven't seen it.
Has a materialistic,
when we go to dinner, I pay for dinner too. If you paid the last time, I'm gonna pay. You know,
okay.
And I have cousins. I have Nika on here. I have Marquita on here, and I'm pretty sure there's some other women on here that's holding it down. And just like you pull out your wallet, we go on our purse and get ours too.
Right.
Well, that's I'm not familiar with this gold digging. You and I have young sons. You know, they're in their 30s, and they say dirty 30s, but I'm out of touch with this stuff.
Right. Okay. I get you. Well, of course, because I do podcasts and because of the TV, I be on a lot. I'm, a lot of content, so I see a lot of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of, and it's more of the newer generation. I didn't experience that in my coming up of dating, where the first thing that most of women want to know was, what can you do for me? It was more of a time and let's talk on the phone, or I don't have to take you to the 5-star restaurant. They didn't mind a burger or whatever. Now it's can I get my crab leg?
Oh, see, I'm not.
Right. Let me say hey to a couple more people. Kaylin Turnip Seed is on here. What's going on?
Hey,
I see my pop. Yeah, hey Kaylin. But my dad is on here. What's going on, Pop? DJ Prophet Rook, or shall we say Lil D is on here. What's going on, y'all? Listen, Richard is it. Listen, Mike always saying something. Mike, matter of fact, I want you to read this, Stacey. Read this what Mike said.
It says, if you're not married at 40, 50, somebody better. You got and you're right. And when you say benefits, I'm talking about investment. I'm talking about
right.
401k. Let's go to ssa.gov and see what your social security check gonna look like. Yeah.
Right. Matter of fact,
that's a good one.
Matter of fact, I'm glad you said that, because maybe at another time we can come back and it seems like you got a pretty good game plan for you got a 10-year plan. You say maybe you can come back. You don't have to tell all your business, but you can kind of, because we as a people need to have a plan further than just a couple of years. We need to be thinking, like you say, you talking about 401k, how much you're gonna be getting doing, what's your expected social security check?
I check those websites.
Right. Are you saving? Have you saved? Yeah. But Mike, every now and again I gotta put Mike in timeout, because Mike be yeah. Richard talking about go ahead, home run. Let's see what Richard said. Richard said women seem to not understand the courtship part. See, that's where I was getting.
Define courtship.
Okay, put it like this here. Again, I'm saying back in the day, women expected a man to, hey, why don't you, like you said, why you got to come to my house for this? Why don't you date me? Let's get to know each other. Nowadays, all that's with the newer people. Listen, Stace, I'm trying to tell you, ask around.
I have a question. So let's say you say, okay, girl, why don't you cook me something to eat so I can come on? So I got to buy the food. I have to cook food. and you just gonna come over and eat.
But ain't that, oh, wait a minute now. Ain't that the same as if y'all go out and you pay for the food?
I have to buy the food.
Yeah.
Cook the food.
Yeah.
And you come over and eat.
But
so now these days, if you pay, I'm a tip. So now keep in mind, if you pay the first time, I'm gonna pay the second time.
Right.
Well, that means if I cook the first time, then you gonna cook the second time?
Yeah.
And it's almost cheaper to go out to eat than cook. Depending on what it is.
Well, yeah, but if
I watched this thing on YouTube channel. It was a panel of women. Their thing was they have to pay half the rent, half the light bill, daycare, but they still have to cook. But the men didn't share the responsibility of cooking, cleaning, and tending to the children. But the men, they had to pay half the bills.
Well, I've heard men say, but you fought for so much equality. You want just as much. Now, I'm just telling you what I heard now. Women, let's just give an example. Back in the day, most women didn't have to do that because the man went out and did the work. Most of the women stayed home. But then it was a battle for the equality, women's rights, or whatever. I want this, I want that. And women, this is what I heard now. Women want the new age equality, but they want the old age perks, as you can work, you can do all you got to do, but you still got to cook and clean, right?
And I have to help pay the mortgage and the light bill and the water.
Yeah. I mean, because we both live in the house, we both sleep in the house. No, honestly, I do believe it's dependent on the relationship and how you pay your bills. Because a lot of times, I know in my household, we pay certain bills. In my household, depending on when my wife get home or I get home, I think they call it gender responsibilities. We don't have no like, oh, well, you wash dishes because you the woman, or you cook because you the woman. It's more or less like, hey, you hungry? I'm hungry. You ain't home yet? Okay, I'm in the kitchen. Like now she has, she's going to school as she always does. She doing something, so I can look over there. I can see that she don't have time to go over there and cook and or clean the kitchen. So I just go ahead and meal prep. We do a lot of meal prepping. Our meal prep. I clean the kitchen to the best of my ability. I'm not the best kitchen cleaner, but it be some studs in the sink. Yeah.
You try.
Yeah. I think it should be equal, and it all depends on who makes what responsibilities you say you can handle. Because like Marcus said earlier, there is no manual to it. But the worst thing to do, I believe, is to try to mimic what another household do. Right. Because if this household making 150 to 200,000, and this household making 60 to 80,000, y'all ain't gonna be able to pay y'all bills the same way as you trying to be like this side. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm liking this right here.
Yeah, I do have another topic for you at a later time. Put it on your footnote. Church hurt. Yeah, but I thought about that one today.
Don't say that with Mike on here. Oh, Lord have mercy. Mike, did you hear the topic? Church hurt. Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, listen, I think everybody got some church hurt.
That's for another time.
Yeah. Long as you ready, long as you willing to come back and talk about it, I'm willing to. Matter of fact,
I don't know if you want me to do that, because when I first experienced church hurt, I started going to the VFW Post 4262 North Main. Boy, do you want? Because I felt like if I gotta come to church and this, I don't want nothing to do with church. I went to the VFW. Those people embraced me. They knew who I was. I even told my kid, when I die, just have my funeral at the VFW. And I wasn't even a member there. So I'll be in the no, but I mean it happens.
It's ironic that you say that, because again, Sunday, I said this part in my sermon. I said it's a shame for us to deal with hurt, pain, or hell at home, at work, out in the public, whatever, and come through the church doors and still almost get just as worse than you do from the outside.
Right.
So yeah, church hurt. Listen, we need to plan it. Maybe we'll get together. We'll just plan a date.
And the thing is, some of the people in the church, I don't even talk to them or running, but I still see my people from VFW Post 4262. I still see them, and they still love and embrace and speak. But that's another topic. But today it was just about. I think it's fair for me to say I made it.
Right.
I don't think parenting is easy, whether you married, single, divorced. Parenting is a job. I think for single parents, it's more challenging because you are one income versus two. And then we have to make all the decision making, and then we have to bring these kids up. And I did know one man, one of my son's friends, he was raising his two sons. And then I knew one of their other friends, he was a male, and he was raising the son and the daughter. So it is common for men and women. Who said, Richard, this was 40 plus years ago, and you are correct.
I think they was talking about him and his kid's mother, the situation of why she wouldn't let them
come over.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's now my son has kids, the oldest one, and he's an awesome father. He's awesome. He has those girls spoiled rotten, and when he deal with it, he come talk. What do you think about this? Well, I can only talk from my experience, and then of course, hey, baby daddy, Zarel said XYZ. The communication is there. Now, together we were able to do it. Now, can a woman teach a man how to be a man? No.
Right.
We cannot. We can raise them, but we can't.
And you know what? That's like you said, our Grandma Lily Bell.
Yes, sir.
And I can tell you, she got some strong men that she raised. I never thought of her, or even came out the mouth, that she was the mother and the father to. She was just a strong woman that raised. She did it, and not only raised her kids, but she raised other kids and some grandkids.
Yes.
And listen, I know for sure. I look at our family. We got some awesome uncles, awesome aunts. We got only two of the siblings that are left now. That's your father and my mother. That's Eddie, aka Jenks Bolton, and my mother, Norma Jean Bolton Mickens. But I can tell you what, you talking about some strong. I think both of them more alike than they know. They because I know your daddy can be strong-headed when he want to. My mom can be strong-headed when she wants to. But listen, them two get together. I don't know if you was there early when we first got to the family reunion cleanup. They were acting like they were back in high school. They was over there talking and whispering and stuff. We trying to figure out what they talking about. He talking about, nah, sis, we ain't gonna say nothing else. They listen. I was like, man, y'all ain't young no more to be hiding no information from us. But it's good to see. I'm so glad that we was able to have that family reunion, and we're gonna continue to do more, because I realize, especially there, I don't want to say they ain't got long, but they ought to be in their restful years of sitting back and enjoying seeing the fruits of their labor um, their production, see their family.
Right.
I just believe I met cousins. Uh, I didn't know I had you. You had to introduce me to two of them.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
siblings,
yeah. I was like, "What do you
I
mean?"
didn't know. What you said was, I didn't know. I didn't
I
know.
did. Matter of fact, and I'm hoping that on our page anyway, on the family page, that we can get them to the input a little bit more because I need to know this because I would feel so bad if I was to see them somewhere
And
and
not
I
know.
can't recognize them.
You
I
know what?
kind of got an idea, but I want to make sure. Even matter of fact, your kids, my kids, man, come on, man.
Now, one thing my kids do is when they meet somebody, they will, come back and say, "Hey, I met this female," and because they don't know all of their family. And there
Right.
was even when I went over to my oldest son apartment one time, it was one of Uncle Joe's granddaughters. So
Oh,
when I walked through the door, he was like, he said, "Mom," he said, "her last name Austin." He said, "I think we might be kin to her." So I called your mama on the phone and I'm
mhm.
talking to her and I'm relaying the messages to Auntie Jean. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, I know her. Yeah, yeah, yeah." And it was Uncle Joe's, I think it was Uncle Joe's granddaughter.
Okay. Yeah,
So, yeah,
we know anytime we hear Austin, Richardson, Bolton, just go ahead and let that slide. Don't
yeah,
even try to make that work because we can some way down the line.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm going to elaborate this and I'm going to let it go. I just, growing up, we only had investment of time and energy and information. Invest of time. Right. I agree. Growing up, my mom had no siblings. So my dad only had two sisters, which was Auntie Jean and Auntie Constance.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother, Nadine Stocker, always shared how Grandma Lily would come and get vet because she was the only grandchild at the time. And Auntie Constance and Auntie Jean and Auntie Constance had to watch her. And I
Right.
just remember growing up, that's what we did. So because of her, I'm the grandmother to my son's children because she was a grandmother to me. When I say
Right.
Lily Bell Austin Bolton made a huge impact in my life, I'm talking about huge. And
Right.
I share that. I take my aunties to heart. And I miss Auntie Constance Marquita. I don't mean to make her cry, but I miss Auntie Constance dearly. She would be sitting out in the yard. I stop by and be like, "Come ride to the store, go to Walmart on Ghana's Ferry, take her back to the country, and then come
Mm-hmm.
back up the road."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Love like no other.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Love like
why I that's why it's important for us and anybody listening. If you have families that haven't gotten together in a while, please, it don't have to be a family reunion. Start a Facebook page for your family. You'd be surprised at how many people um, with the last name, or either not even the last name because they're married outside the family. How
right.
many kin folks that we got out here that we just don't
Don't
know? Because back in the day, grandmama and them held everything together. Grandmama, they made sure we had these birthdays. They made sure that we had these family reunions. They made sure you spend time with each other. But not it's like I say. I think this generation or the newer generations now have gotten so me, myself, and I that we almost just done forgot about everybody family except our immediate family,
family. I agree.
except what's in our own house. Uh, Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me get some more comments. That's what we're saying. Presentation. I got to make sure. What do we see? It's about the materialistic thing now. What do you have, and what can I? Yeah, and what can you offer? Yeah.
So that goes
Now,
back to that show you were saying where they were saying, pay my rent.
yeah. Well, it's not actually a show, but it's just a whole bunch of videos where guys kind of like post where it's like, hey, look, I'm trying to, they have a camera off to the side and they just showing different things like, it's not planned. It's just, hey, I'm gonna try to talk to this girl. Oh yeah, they got a camera, and it's mostly now with the newer get the bag generation of females. It's like off the top. What can you do for me? If they
So
see you ride in a nice car, is what can you do? You can pay my bills. What bills can you buy? Um, I mean, pay for blase blase.
I agree with Richard. The materialistic things.
Yeah.
I agree.
Marcus said there are only two kinds of people: appreciative and unappreciative. Most definitely, Marcus. Most definitely, Marcus said it's not new. It's the choice you pick in significant. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna tell you, Marcus. I got to have Marcus. Marcus is a tool, a jewel to have a conversation with. I got to have, matter of fact, Marcus come over here and we can discuss real estate, and as well as the same conversation as a man. I think it'd be good to have Marcus on here, who is a single father, because from the jump, from I can almost say from birth, Marcus had his daughter. And if I'm wrong, Marcus, tell me, but it's almost from birth, you had your daughter. And I admire that. Yeah, I admire that.
It happens, but it's very rare that a man may be a single parent versus the woman.
Right. And you know what? I don't think even when it is like that, I don't think men get as much praise for it. It's like, oh yeah, he is a single father. But then but she a single mother. She's so strong. Am I right? Come on now, somebody hit me in the chat. When you hear about a single father, oh well, you know, women do it all the time. It's almost like Mother's Day, Father's Day. Mother's Day get everything, Father's Day just get a tie and a card. When you hear about a single mother, oh, she's so strong, she raised those kids by herself. When a man raised children by themselves, oh, well, that's what he's supposed to do. Right or wrong, cuz I need you to talk to me.
I was waiting for somebody to put in the chat. I agree, and I think it's the perception we have because it's so common for women and not as common for men.
Yeah.
I agree.
They go Pop speaking. Pop saying, hey.
Hey, Uncle Trumpet. Y'all call him Matthew Meekins. He Uncle Trumpet. Hey, Uncle Trumpet.
Marcus here saying that's new behavior. Yeah, it is new behavior. And if
new behavior, I like that. New behavior.
Yeah.
I like that.
And Richard saying, yeah, we can cook too. Yeah, hey, listen. One thing my mama taught me, definitely taught her boys. Listen. I might not can give you no gourmet meal, but when push gonna shove, it gonna be something on that stove. You hear what I tell you? Mama made sure. Mama made sure that we knew how to cook. Yeah. Marcus said we got to be open-minded. That's right, Marcus. Lil D says this is good. Yeah. Marcus is laughing. I don't know what Marcus laughing about. Marcus laughing at everything. Marcus said, gotta find and you know what? That's important. That's why this conversation with being a single parent, getting up in age and getting older, a lot of females and a lot of people feel like once they get older, they got to rush into now the marriage thing. When just because you find the right relationship don't mean that the relationship has, like you said earlier, doesn't mean that it has to lead towards marriage. Because in your case, you say, hey, I've been married once, I'm good. I got my 10-year plan. So, okay, now let's just do you think there is a possibility of a Prince Charles that's got a great investment plan for himself, that's got a great retirement plan? You fall in love, he in love, y'all lovey-dovey. Do you think it could be a chance, or do you think that in your in your situation of independency for so long that it just is out the question, period.
I'm not going to say that. You know, the Bible says that you're supposed to leave for your children's children. So that's mine. So I just like I have something set up for my children and my grands. I want him to have the same thing.
Gotcha.
So we have to have some, and I need to go to ssa.gov and I need to see how much your retirement is going to be.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, I think that's important. There's no checks and balances. I don't think people check or either look into a person's financial literacy or capability before they get together. They just figure, oh well, once we get married, then we put our finances together. I think that would be a plus if people looked into. I need to know what I'm getting involved with.
Right, because by the time I'm my 10-year plan, my mortgage, I won't have a mortgage. But just looking at what my check is going to be,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to work at least 3 days a week.
Right.
Right. So, you know, with that check, you're looking at light bill, water bill, the utilities, not looking at, you still have to pay. It will be good to still keep the insurance on your house.
Mm-hmm.
Still have to eat. You know, hopefully
Right.
you don't have no car payment. You still have to pay car insurance.
Yeah.
So life still goes on.
Right.
Now the credit part, one of us can have good. Both of us gonna have to have good credit. If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Teamwork makes dream work. I agree, Deidre. So if one of us have good credit and you don't mind helping, then okay, cool. I can deal with that. But I just I'm about there. I'm about 60. I'm not trying to work all my life.
I got you.
I want to travel. I want to see.
You got a plan, and and if someone was to come into that space, you want them to have. Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't want to have to help them create a plan. You want them to already have a plan, and
right.
Then,
I want them to be comfortable to move.
And then, if so, y'all plans can coexist, but you can't just come to the table saying, "Well, I ain't got nothing going on. I just, you know,
Then I'm gonna help you. Then I'm gonna help you. Right. Now, one thing I did with my boys when I started an investment account. Joshua was still in college, so I invested in his account until after he graduated from college. And when he graduated from college, then it's on you.
Yeah.
At that time, Zarel was of age, and I was going to start it for him, but only for a few months. And he decided, you know what? Don't worry about it. But still, to this day, Joshua Mail still comes here. And he still invests in that account, even though he has a full-time job. And the full-time job he's on, it invested to the retirement. He still invests in that account that I started for him when he was in college.
Okay.
And if he sticks to it, then he'll be okay.
We are talking here with my cousin Stacy White, talking about being a single parent, and she is showing and telling us being a single parent, you can be successful or unsuccessful depending on your mindset. That's what I want to get. Being a single parent, your mindset has to be what? Finish that sentence. Being a single parent from up to now, what can you tell somebody about being a single parent, the mindset?
I agree with Marcus said earlier, open-minded. You just have to continue to be open-minded.
What do you think about Richard right here?
What worked for Moses didn't work for Joshua. And no two children are alike. No two people are alike. My oldest son he swim and he glide on top of water. My baby boy can't swim, don't go across the rope, but he can shoot a basketball from half court. No
Gotcha.
two people are alike. So definitely.
Like I said, I do 90% of the cooking in my house and always did. Yeah. I think now, back in the days, I think there were more gender roles in the house.
Yes.
Because back in the day, they had a lot of women had a lot of babies and they stayed home and they cooked and cleaned and the man went to work and blah, blah, blah. But now, and I think it's because of everything costs now. Everything costs. It almost, so I applaud the single parent who still can do the mortgage, who still can pay for the extra activity with the kids, who still got the car payment, who still, because that's a hustle. You still getting that. That's it. It costs more to live now.
Right. Now, with the single parent, and one thing I did was when they were in middle school, that's when they did the football, basketball, soccer, swimming. So by the time they got to high school, they were rounded enough to know that, you know, they can't tell me they don't like soccer because they've never played it. They can't tell me that they don't like swimming because they've never been on a swim team or taken swimming lessons. So when they get of age to like middle school age, I think around that 7th grade age is when you can get involved in school activities. So then they've been in enough. Now it's expensive, it's time consuming. It is. Mm-hmm. I did sponsors. Hey, you know, my child's swimming. Can you write $35 check? And when you write the check, don't make it payable to me, make it payable to whatever park that they're at. Because, you know, don't trust me. No, I'll write a check. Mr. Clint T. Fleming, the late Mr. Clint T. Fleming, when Joshua played AAU, it was expensive. Is it still expensive?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But, you know, God bless Mr. Clint T. Fleming was his sponsor for AAU, you know, so get out here. People, like you said, people don't know what you need if you don't ask.
Yeah.
And when you ask, don't ask. Now, if you're going to write a check, write a good check. But, you know, and I still do that to this day. You know, I had one young man that called me and say, hey, I play football for Westwood. Can you sponsor me? Yep. Who you need me to write a check out to? I'll do it. That's how I made it. I prayed hard to get her delivered from the VFW. Girl, I hadn't been to the VFW since I think 2014.
Lord help.
Yes. That was it. Mike came to one of my parties at the VFW. That was a show enough good time. Yes.
Man. Erica Robinson Brown, what's going on? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Erica, we talking about single parent. Erica, actually, matter of fact, when Stacy called me and we talked about doing this show, I said, now we probably end up talking about some of everything, but it all ties in all back to the single parent. So we done talked about single parent. We done talk about insurance. We done talk about cooking. Listen, it's all tied in. So I don't know what part of the program you came in, but it's been a great discussion. Try to finish up with some of these chats. That was the mentorship came into play. Let's see this right here. Richard said family need to more. I guess you try to say families need to get together more these days. Yes, definitely. Who this right here? Read this one.
There used to be Sunday dinners.
That's
true.
What's going on, cuz? Because there used to be, and listen, I remember, matter of fact, even when it was just something about going to Granny house for any type of dinner. Oh my God, but
no dinner, just going.
Man, just to get them days back, you know, you kind of look back. And, you know, I guess I was at a young age. I think I was in 9th grade because I remember when when we had got the phone call. We had just left from down there. We was down there for a couple of days, and we was leaving, and I always cried when I had to leave Granny. Oh my God. I cried. Me and my sister, we cried, we boo-hooed, and Granny was telling it'll be out. As soon as we got home, that 3-hour drive, we had to turn right back and come back. And then of course the planning and everything for the funeral. And I had to make a choice because I was a wrestler and we was going for the state lower state champions. And my daddy said, well, I can take you back and you can go ahead and go to your tournament, or we can go ahead and stay here for your, because of course mama was gonna stay, everybody else was gonna stay, but I was, I would consider myself one of the stars on the team. I was pretty good. I said, Daddy, I'd rather stay here for Granny's funeral. I remember that. So I cherish the moments and the decision I made. I think that was one of the best decisions I made. Yeah, I might have missed out on the opportunity with the doggone wrestling, but there was no better honor or respect I could have done to be there for my grandmother's funeral. Like you say, just to go there anytime for anything. It was just so. Do you remember how cold and good Granny room used to be? Granny had that air conditioning in that doggone. Listen, is it just me, or did she have some of the heaviest, coldest covers you can have? If you ever got up on a Granny cover, you was in for the night. If she ever told you go get in that bed and she put them covers on you or them quilts, oh my God, great day. You was in for the night. Oh, the days.
Yeah. She actually taught me how to drive.
Okay.
The day I got my permit, I don't know, it might have been a couple days after I got my permit. She put me on Ghana's Ferry.
What?
Yeah, she put me on Ghana's Ferry. And Lil D on here, because when Uncle Perk died, Deidre said she was what, 2?
Yeah, Ooey Perk. Perk.
So, Deidre knows us because of her. And as much credit as Uncle Jenks liked to take for us knowing each other, it wasn't him. Grandma Lily started that. He continued what she started. So yeah.
That's I can remember. Like I said, we talking about a strong. No. We talking about a single parent.
And she was a single parent.
She was a single parent. She was a strong single parent. And listen, I've seen her. When I say rule with iron fist. I'm talking about her boys. I have seen her get on Uncle Jenks, Uncle Tom, Uncle Leon, Uncle Pa, Uncle George, Uncle Mike. I have seen her say something, and I ain't care how big they was. I have seen them jokers' head drop.
Yeah.
Okay, Mom. Oh, all right, Mom. Great day. I was like, because they used to. Especially the boys, they used to harass us. I was scared of my uncles. I respected them. They didn't beat us up, but you know how uncles, do the boy. But man, when Granny spoke, I seen Granny. I ain't gonna say which one, but I saw Granny do an open hand slap on. Hey, all that, I ain't gonna say which one it was. All that Joker could do to walk out the door, and he just went home. And you know what? The next day was right back over there like ain't nothing happened. But that's just, I guess they probably.
Was it my daddy? Sound like my daddy.
I ain't.
It sound like our daddy.
I ain't saying nothing.
Uncle Tom, who was Uncle Perk? No, what?
Well, wasn't Uncle Perk. Because he had already been passed.
Then I think it was Uncle Tom then. Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah, it was Uncle Tom.
Yeah, because they were inseparable. Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I remember they would be done, she'd be done fuss him out. He would try to fuss back, but last thing I hear him say is, okay, Mom. Walk out the door, come back. Mom, come on down to the house and go in the garden and give some of them peppers and tomatoes. I used to be like, wait a minute, they were just fussing. She was just fussing, man. And lo and behold, but that showed me back in the day, way back then as a young man, how much respect they had for her. And I mean, she just, raising Muhammad and Dietrich. You might well say she raised Uncle Hooney too.
Yeah. Uncle Hooney, Uncle Mike, Uncle George, yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Hooney, Uncle Mike, Uncle George. I was so happy to see Uncle Mike at the reunion. I was hoping next time we can get Uncle George there too. It'll just be good to see everybody in one space, man. I miss my granny. I miss that strong woman. I see my mom a lot in her.
Yes, yes, she does look like her.
Yeah, she got that. Matter of fact, I even I told cousin Vet, I see some of the likeness of my mom in Vet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they I just see some of the how they mannerisms and how they kind of deal with people, or shall I say the family. I just kind of see how, and it's good to see that Granny had a great impact on everybody, male, female.
I was confused for a little bit because do you remember Granddaddy Book? You remember Granddaddy Book?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now Granddaddy Book and Grandmama were together a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever divorce? I don't know, but I know Grandmama lived in her house and Granddaddy lived in his house. And I was confused because I didn't understand how, and it goes back to, because remember Uncle Pa came along. Mm-hmm. I was confused as to Grandmama and Granddaddy married, but Granddaddy lived in his house, Grandma lived in her house, but she would take him to the store, she would take him to his doctor's appointment. They were together, and I was so confused. This is my grandma and granddaddy, they don't live together. So
right. Yeah. I guess, like I think it was Marcus said earlier, kids see, and there was a lot of stuff that we saw back then. We was like, wait, because I remember it was me, Tico, Dap, Muhammad, and Dietrich. I believe we was at Granddaddy Booker house, and then I remember a picture, but I don't ever remember being around him as much as being around Granny.
Right.
And I remember the picture that Mama had of her, Auntie Consa, and Granddaddy Booker. Uh-huh. But it was, I was like, because I live with my mom and daddy, and that's my mama's mama, and that's a daddy, but where he at?
Exactly.
But it was understood. I mean, it was, oh man, this. Listen, we got to get. I wonder if we can get Auntie Lean on here one day, because she probably can tell a whole lot. We're supposed to get Auntie Maul to do the family history again. That's a whole nother thing. I'll be done get into that. Yeah. Because that was a whole lot of good stuff she read. I wish that we had to put a whole lot more emphasis on that at the family reunion. But we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it. Listen, we done been on here now an hour and 30 minutes. It's I think it was a great discussion. And like I said, we talked about any and everything. Definitely got our points out about being a single parent. We're gonna have a part 2, and we're gonna bring in a discussion, like you said, of church hurt.
Yeah.
And we can even piggyback off this conversation again, or you just go strong on that. Like I said, we'll get together and plan it. I think we had pretty good feedback from the audience. I see Roosevelt. What's going on, Dr. Roosevelt McCray? Is, man, this computer saying it's talking this stuff. Hold up. And also Theresa Darby. Ashley, what's going on? Good folks right there. Those are my people. Y'all, listen, we're going to go ahead and we're going to shut it down. We're going to shut it down, cuz I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you just for being my big cuz. I appreciate you for being a big cuz, as well as all the rest of them. that didn't slap me across my head when I was younger.
Dap took care of that for us.
Yeah. I must say, she always thought she was older than me, but she used to think she was my mama when my mama wasn't around. She would try to tighten me up every now and again, but I take it in love. But yeah, I appreciate you. And looking forward to the next conversation. Looking forward to my shirt. I need that shirt.
He said it's here.
Okay.
So you see, I put you and Auntie Jean in a text and was like, "Hey, wait, the shirts." And he said he ordered. I have to go back and look at it. Go check his page, but I tag you and Auntie Jean and say, "Hey, what's up with the fam shirts?"
Okay, good.
I did, and I think he said something about it was ordered or something. It's in there. I have to go back and check.
All right. Well, let's hear, what give us on your closing now. What do you want to say? Just in closing, in general, about being a single parent, no matter what angle you come from with it, what you got to say?
All right. Always remember, be true to yourself. Remember, our children are our children and we love them unconditionally. Make them our priority. Continue to communicate. Continue to be with them. And don't be scared to put them out your house.
You know what? Well, you know what, though? It's ironic that you say that, because I think a lot of parents coddle their kids so much and they mess around, and by the time that they don't have no choice but to put them out, their child is a couple of years behind of being a responsible adult. You're right. You have to, you have to be like them birds. They start nudging them little birds. Hey, you got to get on out of the nest. I've done all that. And listen, you never stop being a parent.
Never.
But you got to start giving them some responsibility and let them. And this is one of the hardest part, I think, is for any parent, is to let them bump their head and realize that, hey, everything I've showed you, you have the keys and the tools to be successful. But if you bump your head, like you say, now the first time, maybe you didn't quite get it.
Right.
But if you continue nodding your head up, then we got you. You're going to have to learn through this one, buddy. You're going to learn. Oh, yeah, you're going to learn. Because listen, I ain't going to hold you up no longer. I appreciate you. I love you. We're going to do this
love you more.
And tell everybody on your end, sons, grands, or whatever, cousin, Uncle Todd, whatever they want to call them, and love them, and there ain't nothing they can do about it.
That's
we're going to do this again.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Appreciate it, cuz.
All right.
Y'all, that was my cousin. We had a good talk on here, talking about doggone being a single parent. She about to get out of here. I'm about to get out of here. Listen, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to the Todd Mickens Let's Talk About podcast. Listen, me and her, we bolting strong. Y'all hear what I say? We is bolting strong. Listen, we need to put this in our family. Love and forgiveness. That's what it's all about. Love and forgiveness. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Huh? Good, y'all, man, y'all, I love y'all. I miss. I can't wait till the next time. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be. You've been tuned in to the Todd Mickens Let's Talk About It podcast, but now we out of here. I gotta go to work in the morning. I'll see y'all later. All right, I'll be out of here in about 30 seconds. I hope you got yourself together. I hope you got yourself together, guys, because in 30 seconds I'm gone. I won't be here no more.